Welcome everybody to Royal Orbis Radio. I will be your host mostly tonight. Zig Bigadorlu, that's myself. Joined with me is Thalmor and Vice, at least for a little bit, as well as
Yes, sir.
Big Daddy Krampus, who will be here because it's not ridiculous at night. I hope everybody enjoys that we are having the show at a reasonable time for the Europeans. We picked this particular time based on the poll that happened a little while ago in the Royal Orbis Radio channel. Please give us some feedback if this is actually a good time or if we can adjust. But I think without further ado, we can get this started. I'll play the theme song. Good theme song.
I was going to say, I thought we just said we didn't have one.
I just let it keep playing. Oh, goodness. This is going to be difficult.
Well, what's first on the docket tonight?
Thalmor, you get to be my Zig today. Can you please post the itinerary?
But I don't want to talk. I'm nervous. I don't know how my day was.
You're killing me. I didn't ask you to talk, so shush. So today I wanted to call this together partially because I just came back from vacation, feeling good. And I think there's a decent amount to talk about. Thalmor, how have you been? Are you burnt out yet from having 4 shows this week?
Oh man, after this one, I'm done. I'm never doing more than 2 in a week again.
Yeah, it's a bad choice. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is KT militarizing and people are secretly freaking out. Who do you think is actually going? Who do you think Thalmor is about to hit? Thalmor, I know you're not going to answer because you don't know, but I want to know what other people know.
Well, I liked the little poll you did. What was that? Not too long ago, and you broke it down by block or then like the ancillaries. What was that looking like last time I checked it? Okay. It looked like we had 5 Hollywood, 5 ancillaries, 7 for Mystery, 7 for Rose, 4 for Oasis. I would be very surprised. My take on it, I would be very surprised if it was Hollywood, just because of all the people who have moved to KT this week, which is an interesting thing to see. I would be surprised if they turned around and hit their own sphere. So I'm ruling out pretty much all of Hollywood.
My interpretation of the poll is that the only person that's safe is TS.
Yeah, everyone seems pretty split. The only thing anyone can agree on is that Cindy Sphere is probably safe. So I asked Innocent, and what Innocent said is that him and Horsecock will decide who we hit, and they will decide the day we go in. So I don't know what's happening. If I had to speculate, though, I'm pretty confident we're not going to hit someone that we've already fought this year. So Oasis is safe, and Rose is safe. Beyond that, who knows?
So do you think ASM is militarizing for nothing then? In the streets
Yes.
going up too.
Both of them. I think they're wasting resources and cash, and that's funny.
They're going up. Chocolate Castles, I think they went up a little bit too. Although you never ended up fighting them. Would you consider you have fought Chocolate Castles? Because you guys got into it with TKR a little bit, What was that? Was that April? April? I think it was around April. So I don't know if you'd consider them being.
No.
You guys didn't rush them as a group. You didn't rush them as a group, but you guys were. I remember Morph doing like his first radio show, talking about how he's countering for KT. So I didn't know if it was something organized or just like generic raids then at that point.
I think it was just an escalation because of raiding. It wasn't really an organized thing. So no, TKR is an at-risk alliance. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is. You're always halfway telling us who you're going to hit. Well, Dumpster Can, I can't just spill. Well, first off, I don't even know. But even if I did know, I can't just spill the beans. I have to tantalize you guys and keep you guys all anxious and wanting more. That's how showbiz works. What do you think we're going to do, Zig?
Well, first of all, I'd like to point out, Vice mentioned that a lot of Hollywood people have joined KT, and I'm not sure who he's talking about, but I gotta point out that they don't know who they're about to hit any more than Thelmore does. And Thelmore's, a prominent, important member, definitely governmental of KT. So it's anybody's guess.
Okay.
Imagine ghosting into KT to Crusade, and then we hit your alliance.
And then you hit Grumpy? Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen, because KT's afraid they would lose. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. I'm interested to see. Kind of. All right. I think we've speculated enough. Next up on the docket, I have it listed as to leak or not to leak. And I wanted to talk about a recent thing that has been going on in Royal Orbis News, where, let me see if I can find the posts, where there have been a series of leaks by of Azazel in particular, but of Cam's econ department and a string of things, a string of leaks that have been happening. What I thought was particularly interesting. I don't really know what to believe from all those leaks. What do you guys think? Do you think Cam is just trying to save face after they got leaked and admitted they have no bank?
I don't know. I don't know about the bank thing for sure. I definitely think that some of the leaks were legit. I don't think that it could be that far out of the realm of possibility for them to try and do some weird shit like this where it gets leaked automatically. But at the end of the day, it looks kind of silly that you're trying to track down all the shit in your alliance, and then when you think you finally catch whoever the person is leaking is, you stroll into the Balkans like, herder, we're the shit, we caught him, what do you guys think about them apples? And like, we're all thinking like, you're still an idiot because you have tons of people who are like, you had a leaking problem to begin with. So my thing is like, the people who people have high opinions of are those that you don't see pop up in the leaks and rumors. And so to be up there anyways is obviously like a problem. So again, I don't know. I don't think Epi got demoted or anything like that. So I think there is some fluff in it that holds no weight. But the bank thing, I don't know. It could be anyone's guess, I guess, for that. But in terms of like leaks, I think some of the leaks happen legitimately, and then they were just, let's roll with this and whoever's leaking, because that 100% seems like something they would do.
Yeah, I think trying to spin things as, well, look at this 40 chess move to catch a leaker. It's probably a cope.
The thing I was thinking about is if that is true, if they were you doing this 4D chess move to pick out a leaker, is that a good way to do it? Um, Personally, I'm not sure that posting announcements that are completely uh, that your membership probably believes. I don't think misleading your membership is a good way to run your alliance. Personally, um,
Yeah, like if I was a member, I'd be like, "What the fuck? All right, are announcements coming through now in the future? Are those legitimate, or am I getting fucked with as a member because we have another mole and they're trying to figure out who it is?" Like, if someone was like, "Oh, our bank's empty," just kidding, we're not. We're trying to catch a leaker. It's like, you can only cry wolf so many times before the members are like, "All right, I have no idea what to believe."
Which, I mean, I won't fault Camelot for the tactics, because having a leaker is pretty detrimental anyways, and like catching a leaker is also pretty hard. So, I mean, they can try to do whatever they want to flush him out.
Yeah, if they did get it, then good for them. I don't think that people care that much about the leaks anyway. So, if they were able to handle it, then, again, good on them. So, I definitely would be really annoyed if I had a leaker issue. I can't believe when I was in TFP, when you have 300 people, that we didn't have an issue like this. Like, it was mind-boggling that we could post up announcements and never, not once. You got over 300 people at one point, and the only leak that ever hit Ron was the fake one someone made from the Oasis server about James Wilson and Harry. Like, I don't know how long ago that was, but that was like back in March. So same with like TI. TI has a shit ton of people, no problems, at least not that I know of. So it's just interesting to see like an alliance with 100 people having what seems like to be a repetitive issue.
Hello.
welcome.
Hey.
Hi.
So I was gonna do an interview, but I wanted to jump in on this just because I love the chance to roast people. The bigger issue I feel like on this topic with Camelot is that we do not know whether or not the leaks are bullshit. Like, their trust, in my eyes, has evaporated to like negative based on not just these leaks, but past things with TLE and other stuff. And it's just like, if you can't trust the leader of your block, I don't know, or a block, I don't know, man.
Well, one thing that I thought was interesting is Azazel said that Epi did the treasure hunt on his own, and that he approached TLE day one to let him know that this was sort of an Epi adventure. And I wonder if there was truth to that. Is Putmer here, or Dullard, or anyone? Can you guys confirm if like Azazel actually came out to you guys on day one and said, "Hey"?
I had heard that Azazel came out on day one, but not in the way that you're talking about. But I'll leave it to Putmir on whether or not he wants to elaborate.
Let me just basically on day one of the war, Azazel came to me, "Hey Putmir, just wanted to check in and see how things are going," and then was just okay, wanted to shoot an offer out and offered a white piece on the first day, which of course TLE rejected. So yeah,
Was that the first day, or was that after a little bit of fighting?
That was on the first day.
Are we talking about the first day of the war, or the first day that everything started?
First day of the war, when we recognized hostilities on them.
Oh, okay.
So just after that, he came to me and said that, and we rejected it. And then 2 weeks later, they came to us again, and that's.
I don't know, man. As a micro leader, I feel like I can safely come out and give a little bit more controversial opinion here, but jumping into TKR FA Gov for a little bit, FA of a major alliance, I really came in with the attitude of like, give everybody a chance, be open. I DM'd Epi, I DM'd Azazel. We were chatty for a little bit. Epi got a little salty that I roasted him and Ron one time, no big deal. And they just like over time I was only FA Gov for like what, a month, and Camelot just like shredded all credibility in my mind. I don't know. Just everything Azazel said specifically was either damage control or just a straight up lie. And I know we all lie to each other, politics and what have you, but at a certain point it's just ridiculous. I don't know.
One thing I did forget to mention was when they first messaged me when we recognized hostilities. They messaged Z, the head of FA, on the day where they hit, and the basic thing was don't counter or we're going to counter any counters you send. And that was basically what pushed us over the line of, okay.
Yeah, the attempted bullying right after peace was Jesus Christ. I've never seen anything more ridiculous in my life, personally. Who's stand-up guy and why is he pinging me? Fuck you, you went too far. Too far on what? Calling people out for being straight-up liars in allegedly major alliances, quote-unquote, unquote-unquote.
Zay, you're not coming through if you're talking.
No, I'm not. I was about to. I was thinking of. I kind of lost track of where this conversation went. But it always seems like it's a fun topic to just roast Cam for everything they do. I probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't admit that, but it feels like that's a constant. It's a constant, like at least once a month that seems like what we do.
Well, I think, I think it's, again, kind of like that Rose thing we were talking about in the Balkans earlier. I think a lot of people have had zero interactions with Cam whatsoever, like none. But because they think it's cool to jump on the bandwagon and hate Cam and hate Rose and all this other stuff, they just do it. And they've never talked to Azazel or whoever. And I worked with them briefly when they came to Oasis before going to make their own block. And in my experience, again, I'm not tenured. I don't know a lot. I didn't have to go through MPO, but when I was interacting with Azazel and some of their gov, like they were all really nice. They actually were pretty chill people. Didn't have any issues with them. I think there's obviously one or two eggs in there which spoiled a bunch, but I actually kind of enjoyed bantering with them the short time they were in Oasis. But I think it's just one of those things that everyone wants to get on the bandwagon of just hating Cam. And again, I'm not saying it's not justified or it's not deserved. It's just I don't know, all the shit that they put other people through. So maybe my opinion is irrelevant.
I think you guys are being either quiet for the need of politics or too nice for the need of politics. But I personally am in favor of calling out shitty community members. They're not even shitty. They're not. Let me rephrase. Azazel's not like a bad person. I just think he's not a good government member, and I just don't think he has credibility. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but I've never.
And these leaks have just reinforced it over and over and over again. Of like, are they fake? Are they true? You have no idea, because everything out of Azazel's mouth. I mean, even he's messaging me in chat right now. I've only talked to you once. Like, his response is a lie. It's funny. I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying I just don't see it.
Well, I guess what I was just getting at is like,
I expect more from major powers is what I'm saying. If you're in the top 10, I expect an example rather than an example of like I'm a micro, I should be acting the way that you're acting.
But my point is like, don't be a peanut gallery and just jump on something just to do it. Like, figure out for your own reasons why you think someone is or is not worth hating on, and then go from there. Don't just do it.
I've definitely laid out my own I hear what you're saying, but I feel like I've laid out my own reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
But I agree, you shouldn't just hate somebody to be a hater. Unless it's funny on a radio show, in which case, go for it.
Because then you're just salty for no reason.
There's plenty of.
So I think we've beat the Camelot horse to death. Do we have
I
anything
agree.
else to move on substantial to this topic, or do we move on?
Going once.
I mean, don't
Twice.
say I beat it to death. You put it on the itinerary. There's only 2 people that even gave more than a sentence about it. Y'all don't have opinions? Nobody in the chat has an opinion? It's kind of boring.
I think there's lots
Almore,
of people in chat.
What's
with
your
an
opinion, buddy? You like Camelot?
I try to toss them bones from time to time because it seems like they get dunked on a lot, and I'm not sure why. Like, I think it goes beyond they just repeatedly. Like, I think people have something against them, and maybe it's justified. Again, I don't know. So I try to toss them bones from time to time because I think they're okay. So, what do I think? They probably are broke because they've been rolled back to back. The announcement, it is kind of weird for them to go, we leaked the announcement to catch a leaker, or it's a fake announcement to catch a leaker. That seems like a cope to me. I'm not sure if I believe that. And that's kind of the extent of my thoughts on the current situation with Camelot.
I think.
Okay, I think beat dead horse has been reached. Unless you got something to say, Zig.
Yeah, I think I'll end the segment with my own opinion, which is I think honestly, Cam gets kind of made fun of for doing some things openly that I'm pretty sure a lot of the other alliances do. It's just not as visible, and it's not all in the same place. I could go on, but I don't think I'm going to, because it's easier that way. I don't have to actually think of specific examples. So
Give a specific example, bro. Radio shows have been boring as fuck lately because you guys have not been giving content. Give examples.
I'm bad at that, though.
Drop some shit. Be controversial.
Man. It's so hard to think of specific examples. It's not even funny.
That's why I founded a micro. Cause I'm tired of this fucking walking on eggshells
Don't
everywhere.
worry.
It's boring.
We're getting to you. We're getting to you. I brought you on for a very good reason.
Like, Hollywood's probably going to get rolled next. It's okay to piss people off. Fuck it. Just go balls deep.
Base.
No, nothing. Come on.
I just thought it was weird that a guy who made a micro with a historical Roman alliance is calling other people boring.
Oh my god. Anyway, that's a whole text argument. I won't get into it right now. I love Rome history. I'm a nerd.
Just saying, glass houses.
I'm surprised you haven't poached Zed yet.
Zed? Oh, from Syndicate?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what he's got a big thing. He's got like a PhD in that sort of. I don't remember what it was specifically, but I don't remember if it was Rome or not. But
I've been told very pointedly that I'm not allowed to poach, so I've been very careful not to poach.
yeah, well, that's a whole nother topic I'd love to get into, but it's not on my itinerary, and it hasn't come up recently. So let's not talk about poaching. I'll ask you later. So the next topic on the list, we were going to talk about something that has been a very big point recently, and that's about in-game moderation and how it pertains to Discord moderation and the community as a whole. So most recently, I believe it's been 3 members have been banned due to their Discord interactions. Shifty, help me out here. Who else was it?
Gray and Neon.
Graybird and Neon Cloud.
Yeah. And I don't remember the exact details about any of them because I was on vacation while it was happening. But it seems like and we're getting more information as the time goes on. But it sounds like more and more Alex is going to be okay with looking at some of the bad things that people post on Discord and deciding to ban them from the community as a whole. I'm still not sure how I feel about that. I saw who was it? Hillbilly said censorship, and I that's been a big call recently. That this is censorship, this is overreaching abuse. At the same time, I also know that there's some absolutely terrible people that have come through politics and war, and sometimes getting rid of those terrible people can make the whole game better. So what do you think? Where do you think the power? Where do you think Alex's power should stop? Does he have ultimate power to ban everybody? Press 1 if he has ultimate power. Press 2 if he should keep his hands off of Discord.
I think what he can do and what he should do are two different things, because I haven't really thought into it that much, and honestly, I haven't been keeping up with a lot of the bans regarding it, because I just don't care about out of character stuff. It's just completely missed me with it. But I would say what he can do is whatever the fuck he wants. It's his game. He can make the calls as he wants. And if you don't like it, go play Affairs in Order or some shit. I don't know, even though that game's not up. So at the end of the day, I'm that type of person that, hey, if you're a restaurant owner and you want to tell people they can or can't smoke inside of it, it's your restaurant. You can do whatever you want. So I have that same opinion for Alex. Now, whether he should or should not is a different thing. I think that there's he's already seen the repercussions of extending beyond what people think is a fair reach. And so I think what he needs to do is find his own sort of line where he thinks he can basically get involved, because again, I don't know whether these people were banned justifiably or not. I don't care. It's just a matter of what you think and whether you're going to vote with your dollars or your playing time or whatever. So I think he can do whatever he wants, but whether he should or should not is a totally different story.
All right, if nobody else is going to speak up, I'll drop my opinion, which I think will actually shock a couple of the people I've been arguing with about it. I don't actually think Alex should reach over into different unrelated Discords and ban people for it. However, I do personally believe there should be exceptions, and I don't think we should have a blanket rule. Like doxing somebody pretty openly, I feel like was a pretty justified reason. But like Graybird, and I've said this before, I don't know if Graybird's was worth the ban, personally. Like, I don't know
I think Graybird
Kitschy.
is a
I
great
do know
poster
Shifty,
child for this whole
and
stuff.
I've known Shifty for a while. I personally think Shifty had done plenty of stuff to deserve a ban prior to this, but has gotten away with it from skirting the rules like, oh, well, it's not on the PNW official Discord, so. But no, I don't think as a general rule, Alex should be able to moderate based on off-site shit. Discords.
So it was more like for Shifty, it was more like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? For Graybird,
In my personal view,
yeah.
I think Graybird just got caught up in it.
For
honestly.
for Graybird, I think that totally falls into, Alex just didn't want to I don't remember exactly what the Graybird situation was, but I think that was directly to Alex, right? That was in a DM to Alex that he got banned over.
I think Graybird posted in Thalmoria that he was going to take a shotgun to Alex's house or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, is that an over-the-line joke? Probably, but at the same time, had it been in a vacuum not connected to the Shifty stuff, I honestly don't even know if it would have been noticed.
I didn't realize that was in Thelmoria.
What I think
Yeah,
happened.
it was in Thelmor.
Yeah, it was in Thalmoria. And what
Thalmor,
I think
you're
happened,
really
see,
quiet,
Alex
by the
joined
way.
the server for some reason. I don't know. Alex joined Thalmoria and saw it himself, which is what happened. And I think what happened is Alex got his ego bruised, and that's why he banned Greybird. And he did it using the death threat thing as the excuse. And yeah, it was a bullshit ban. Shifty, I can understand why Shifty was banned. Neon, if the Rose community thought Neon was acting so bad to go to Alex about it, then maybe, the Rose people know what they're talking about. Both Greybird, I think that's the easiest argument against moderation overreach is what happened with Greybird.
I think Alex was just trying to do everyone a favor because he knew Greybird was involved with Taith.
Big facts.
Got him.
Big facts.
So the other part of this that I was really interested in, and this is where Krampus put me, or you maybe even Scott, you can chime in here. Is what's the community's response to the bannings and to weapon? There's a fear of weaponizing these kinds of bans. What as a community leader do you think is your appropriate response to the changes in moderation? I'd love to hear from Krampus if you want to talk. But anyone else that's a leader of a one of the an alliance server, that sort of thing, Thelmoria. What do you guys think? What do you think is the proper response?
My personal opinion is Alex can pretty much do whatever he wants in the main server, but that shouldn't come over to the community servers. So Ron, for example, we have our own team, which is Krampus, me, Change-Up, Scott, and then Vex and Vero as well. They help out. I think it's just us six, mainly, that make the decisions here, and that the PNW main server staff, they shouldn't come over here and go, oh, you need to do X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That they're not.
So why did it sound or feel like that Alex had reached out to you or someone in Ron and then Shifty got banned from Ron?
That isn't what happened.
I'm all ears.
We don't usually talk about the actual backing of what happens in the moderation of Ron for obvious reasons, to be fair. So I don't know if this is something which the other guys want to discuss or not, because personally I don't really want to. But yeah.
So if you don't want to say it in this specific case, what I think the community's response to Shifty's banning, I think the question that comes up is, when people get banned by Alex, are you going to ban everybody that gets banned by Alex?
No, that isn't going to happen. If you continue to do stuff that will break our rules, basically, we're our own body. We don't follow the same rules that Alex does. We have our own set of rules. If you break our rules, we'll take action. But if Alex bans you, we won't ban you from here as well. We have to have a reason to do it other than, oh, Alex is just, Alex is just banning everyone. So unless we have a reason to, unless you've done something in here, we're not going to do anything about it.
That makes sense.
So was Shifty doing something here that got him banned? Hello?
Yeah.
Let's ponder that for a moment.
I'm just... in the past he has broken.
Mir, this is a very straightforward question.
Yeah, I know. And in the past he has. And around this time there was certain witch hunting and stuff like that which was happening. But that's all. Pardon me. That's all I'm going to say on this.
So, like, you banned him for stuff he did in the past? So
No.
it was like a delayed ban?
No, more around this. Like, we give people warnings, as a lot of people know, and a lot of people have had warnings, and stuff has happened more recently within Ron itself that can cause it. That cause our actions, basically.
I will have to join in to answer this one real quick. I will say that my hand was tied, as I said that previously, and I will leave it at that. I can't really speak further about it, but I understand your concerns that he was wrongfully banned, and certainly his Alex's decision to ban him was certainly an OOC decision, and I don't think he deserved a ban over his relationship, because PNW has nothing to do. I mean, Alex has nothing to do, no business in being between between Shifty and Kitchi, if I remember her name correctly. But that said, it remains that Shifty also is a toxic individual, and I wouldn't put it past him to be unlawful. And I think I will leave it at that.
Unlawful. So you're going to call him a criminal and then be like, oh, now I'm going to shut up. Like, come on, really? But okay, you think
as in
Shifty did something really bad. Fine, that's fine. I understand wanting to keep someone you think is very toxic away from your community. I understand that perfectly.
And at the end of the day,
So we all.
You don't. You're in KT. It was a joke. I'm sorry.
I muted myself before before you could hear me laughing my head off.
Vice, I'm gonna spank your little booty really hard.
You guys keep a
Vice,
bye.
what do you, no.
By the way, have we talked about the new community rules yet? The ones that were posted into the draft?
The new rules?
Yes, the ones.
That document that I never clicked on?
I mean, you should really. It's I mean, look at it. It has some questionable aspects to it. For example, I mean, if you can't get banned, if Alex can ban you for saying swear words like fuck or shit, that's a bit over the top. I mean, the effort might be referring to something else, in which case I take back my words, but if it doesn't, then that's just plain stupid. For those who aren't aware about it, if you just scroll up in the PNW News channel, you will see that Alex and a team is apparently working on a new draft, and certainly I'm not. How should I put this? I don't think. Yeah. I mean, apparently it is Borg, but obviously those rules don't have an effect on Ron, and I believe at the end of the day it will remain limited to the PNW server itself. But that said, I don't think that will prevent Alex from trying to influence other discords. and yeah, it still remains that he's the admin. So yeah.
So, under the community rules section of the document that Rush posted, there was something that's like, it's called vulgar language or whatever. And one of the examples given is if you say fuck, that gives you like 10 points. And if you get 100, you get fucked in the ass. So this concerns me because it's like, well, wait a minute. So if I'm in Thalmoria and I post a copy pasta that says fuck 10 times, is Lossie going to show up to my house with a 12-inch strap-on dildo and fuck me in the ass? So I asked Rush about this, and Rush said that only applies to official game areas, like the game itself, the forums, the official Discord. So that made me feel better because I got really concerned there for a second. So that made me feel better. I also like how in the community and the document, it also says that like they're only going to dig outside of official areas in really egregious examples of behavior, and screenshots alone aren't evidence. So that does make me feel better. And I think the fact that the document got released at all is also a good sign. Pair all that with increased community awareness and the fact that the common sentiment among all of us seems to be that we're against Alex peering into our private Discords. I think that is very good. And so hopefully, my concern has always been overreach and ultimately precedents being set that enable players to get banned for bullshit reasons. Right now, I do not think that's the path we're on. I think we're on a course right now where that just won't be happening. I think moderation power will probably stay about where it is now, and I think that's fine.
Can I voice a minority opinion here? How did we spend less than 10 minutes talking about in-character Camelot leaks and then get told to stop beating a dead horse, but spend 20 minutes rehashing moderation for like the 30... This is the second radio show of moderation issues we've discussed, just that I've been on. Like, is nobody else tired of talking about moderation? I prefer in-character content, personally.
I mean, but think about it. If this, if drastic changes happen, then it will have a certain influence on PNW, far bigger.
No, I mean, I totally get that. I get that it's an issue, but like at the same time, it's a PNW radio show. You know, don't y'all want to talk about in-character stuff for more than 5 minutes before going into a 30-minute discussion on moderation rules? Alex is going to ban whoever he's going to ban and then write the rules to make it fit either way. So that's my thought. So I don't know.
I'm right there with you.
I'm over moderation personally.
This is the first show that I've actually paid attention to that talked about it. But it was by far the most requested topic for tonight, so I thought it is probably important. There was also a point where we were going to try to get Alex on, but it just didn't work out. I think this conversation would be really interesting to have with Alex if we can get him on. And if we can get him on, I would love to do another show that has a lot of content, not just that, but with Alex himself. But we'll let you know if that does happen. Dr. Rush just said I'm going to try to get him on at some point. I'm not sure if that show would be here or on the PNW main server, but
Rush just did a server a show. I want to say a few days ago.
Was that a show or was that a chat?
I mean, it was on Royal Orbis voice chat.
Yeah, it was a voice chat.
In the same format as this. So I don't know.
And that's why
I'm personally in favor of talking about politics.
And this is exactly why I get really annoyed when Change Up comes in here and starts random voice chats inside. I noticed they changed it to Royal Orbis voice chat because random people come in here and start talking and they think that it's somehow associated with the show, and it's not. So Dr. Rush coming in here was having a chat with nothing to do with Royal Orbis Radio and was in fact just a chat and not a show. So Krampus, that's why you got to keep people from just making random shit in here, because it makes it seem like it's tied with Zig and Thalmor and I.
I feel like that's a semantical difference. Also, I'm pretty sure Thalmor was in the chat, but I could be wrong.
No, I wasn't here for the chat on the 4th. I slept through most of it.
No, okay. I can't remember who was in here, but
There's a lot of weird. There's a lot of random people.
It was Kev and Dr. Rush, I think, were the two other ones that were talking
yeah,
mostly.
Kev was there too. Also, that voice chat went all over the place.
It did.
At least after a while. I was there for after anyone talked about anything. But I agree. Let's move on. Unless anybody has anything in particular they want to talk about. So the last thing on the docket for today was to interview both Kev and yourself, Justinian. Can I call you Justinian? What should I call you?
I think most people recognize Roberts, but you can do whichever one you want to do, really.
Well, your name is Justinian now, so I'll call you Justinian.
Okay.
Roberts. So the plan was to interview both you and Kev. Kev is ghosting me, so Justin?
I'll be honest, I started a multiplayer Stellaris game 30 minutes before this started, and I just happened to see the ping that I was in a radio show. So I almost also ghosted you, but not on purpose.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering if Kev was going to remember. Unless by some chance he is here, but I doubt it. Nope, no Helmo. So I wanted to talk to both you and Kev because both of you started brand new, highly role-playing micros at about the same time, I think. In Kev's case, he started The Street, which is a Sesame Street, but gangsta or something like that. I don't know. Sesame Street characters being bad. But since he's not here, I just wanted to talk about how that is a thing, and I thought that was weird and funny, but that's totally on par with Kev. I'm more interested in talking to you at this point. So what was your idea? So first of all, who are you? What's your history? And what's your goal in starting this alliance?
Damn. I was really kind of hoping Kev would be here so I wouldn't have to continuously talk. So I changed my theme recently, but I'm Roberts, is what most people would probably know me as. And basically the whole idea, without trying to sound like a broken record of everyone else who's ever started an alliance, was to be a little bit different in a, I guess, nerdy way. So the idea kind of was I had been bouncing around since I retired from ARG. I got kind of bored of raiding. I got briefly busy in real life, so I thought I was retiring, period, but then I had a bunch of spare time and ended up in TKR FA Gov for a brief month, which was a lot of fun. But it just kind of highlighted interacting with all the people at, I guess, quote unquote, one of the highest levels of politics in the game. Just kind of highlighted how lacking in a lot of content that used to exist in nation sims like this, a lot of the alliances are currently. So I wanted to do something. I've also done a server called the Orbis Treaty Organization, IOTA. And basically it's like a national, it's like light national role play, like Model UN style type thing that I think a lot of people who join nation sims look for in their game, but are kind of like, it gets beaten out of a lot of people in a lot of different alliances in favor of like getting good, quote unquote. And I just think you could probably have an alliance with a little bit of both, you know, a little light role play, a little internal politics. Like democracy is a very frowned upon thing in PNW for the most part, within what people would traditionally consider competent alliances. I wanted to incorporate a little democracy into it, a little bit of internal political role play. I went with the Roman theme because I wanted to do like Senate politicking internally, maybe consul elections and stuff like that as time goes on. And I have some other thoughts and plans, but I mean, that'll come later as I'm not under the top 100, because right now it really doesn't matter what my political thoughts are because I have 10 members and like 7 of which are brand new nations. But
Yeah,
internally, I'm trying to make it fun, basically.
I didn't bring you on to ask your politics, although I liked that you were contributing earlier.
I'm definitely opinionated, but my opinion doesn't matter.
Your opinion matters as much as anybody else's, which is 0. So I'd like to break down what you were just talking about. First of all, you were talking about how your time in, you said TKR, highlighted how there was a lack of the content that you wanted. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Well, to dig a little deeper, I guess, I know most people probably don't give a shit, but I'm going to go through my history very quickly. So when I joined PNW, I was actually in the New Polar Order in Cybernations. So I was the founding member of Polaris. That didn't go well. Anyways, I joined BK, moved on, joined, I don't even fucking remember. I think I went to Rose briefly. Hated Rose internally. No offense to Rose. They made me use Slack, and I was really not a fan of Slack. Then I went to ARG and obviously stayed there for years, and then recently retired and went to TKR. I bounced into the company briefly. Shout out to Sphinx. Ended up in TKR's Gov, and then finally founded a micro. And that's just what I can remember. There's probably more like brief stints in other places in between those. But safe to say I've been in a lot of alliances over a variety of time spans and seen different leadership styles and different styles of government. And that is what I'm basing my thoughts on, basically, is I don't know if a lot of people know this, but ARG is very democratic, which is something I loved about that alliance, still love about that alliance. I thought that was a good thing to take into, like, if the pirate raiders can be democratic, why can't people that sit in peace for 6 months at a time be democratic? You know what I mean? Like, you would think they would have more time to do it. So that was my thought for a lot of these things, was basically I'd seen a lot of alliances. I kind of knew what I liked, what I didn't like, and I was going to try to incorporate that into mine.
Makes sense. Now you were a leader of ARG for a while, right? Is that
like
true?
4 months, yeah.
4 months? Yeah, okay. I vaguely remembered that.
I was leader not as long as I wanted to be, but at that point in time, I was just so... I had been admiral in ARG, which is basically like a high gov equivalent, I guess. So like I had been helping to run ARG for a long time, even as not leader. So I was just super burnt out in general, especially of like the super active lifestyle of raiding. ARG is like, in my experience, one of the most active alliances in the game, just because you have to be a raider. But a lot of people don't actually realize how active it is internally. It turns a little demanding, is basically what I was saying.
So aside from democracy, what other kind of content are you looking for? Are you trying to promote? Is that the role-playing idea? Is that the theme idea?
I feel like roleplay has a weird connotation with it. Like, I'm not trying to pull out my sword and shield roleplay, but like some kind of getting more into the game with some kind of politics a little bit better than what a lot of alliances do. Like, I feel like a lot of people take this more as an arcade game, and I just hate to break it to y'all, but this game, if you just had the gameplay with no politics, would be trash. P&W is not a good game, but it's interesting because of the meta behind it. So I kind of wanted to push the meta a little bit more. And for example, to give you a specific, one of the things I would like to do eventually, as I said, nobody gives a shit about a 10-member micro at the moment. But one of the things I would like to do is bring back being active on the actual forums, announcements, content, specifically treaties that actually get written out, not just a blanket in-game, like toss somebody an MDP and it's like you go to war with them no matter what. I want to bring back treaties with clauses written out, and even maybe go deeper than we have before and make them like contractual. Like I want like clauses saying instances where you wouldn't defend somebody. Like if you get caught leaking war plans, I won't come to your defense, for example. Just stuff like that. I mean, it's just, I think it would be interesting to have conditional politics in general.
So you want to have
rather than just blanket.
the like the conditional MDP that people have said was secret. You want to have that more open.
Kind of. Basically, like I feel like a lot of people don't even put effort into half the things that built or are the foundation of the political meta. Treaties being one of those. Like a lot of people won't even post a treaty, let alone a text of like a body of text for the treaty. That makes sense.
I kind of agree.
You were in CN. You remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I kind of agree, and I think that kind of problem is something I like to try to fight against as well. I was having a conversation in secret channels, whatever, and somebody told me once that the entire game essentially is dictated, and all the politics are dictated by about 4 or 5 people. That's what I was told. And those 4 or 5 people are the same 4 or 5 people that have been in power for a long time, aside from the old Inquisition people. And I'm sure several of you could probably have an idea about who those people are. But that kind of idea kind of bothers me because it's the same relationships, the same sort of conversations. Everyone's got rapport with each other. You don't really need to do some of the more formal things because you know how to deal with those people, and you end up kind of just planning out wars and treaties and things just how you decide to do it. That's kind of what I've seen from my view in the back channel sometimes. Alex has been in power for too long. Yes. No. You know who's been in power for too long? Quick, somebody tell me his name. Abbas. That guy.
Sweet Ronnie D.
Sweet Ronnie, yeah. Sweet Ronnie D is arguably, has been a strong force in the community for too long. Although I like his style personally. But people like I've heard talk about how Abbas has been secretly just run Rose's everything for so long. Who else? Like Kigaz.
I mean, I
Kigaz
completely
is another
agree with
one.
you. I want to hear you continue ranting, honestly.
Kigaz is another one. Like between Kigaz, the so-called rose puppet, who I don't believe is a rose puppet, and Abbas being the only person. Yes, I am schizo posting. This is what I do. But those are like those kind of people, and I'm not even sure who all is one of these secret leaders. But my experience.
I mean, they're not really that secret.
My experience with those people, I'd love for people to post other people in chat. Tell me who else is this secret leaders or open leaders that are just doing everything in back channels. But I feel like a lot of people do a lot in back channels with just like handshake deals, and that has absolutely killed what you're talking about. The time in the past where people used to post actual treaties, people used to argue about whether or not a particular war declaration fit under that treaty. I remember those times, and I didn't always like them, but I know a lot of people did. Okay, Schizo Post is over.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think leadership turnover is extremely important. And there are some people that have been in PNW basically since the game started in a position of power, dominating dominating in the sense that, like, if they make a decision, several alliances will move with them. Not necessarily always winning. Abyss is very infamously not good at coalition building, but he's good at getting people to follow along with Rose regardless of whether or not it wins. So, I mean, I think Partisan was one of those people as well. And him withdrawing from the game was sad, but also I think opened up a lot of windows for or doors, whatever you want to call them, for other people. And there are some other people that hang out on the wings. I just dropped a list in chat of people I can think of off the top of my head that are or were people that just shoot out a DM and basically they're listening or listened to. But I totally agree with you. I think people sitting in politics for too long with no competitors and no pushback from a lot of these other alliance leaderships, I think that's part of the problem. Is a lot of, I've been saying it for years, I call them satellite alliances that latch on to major powers and don't ever actually make a decision for themselves, even if it feels like in the back room you're part of the decision-making process. It kind of doesn't really add anything to the game to constantly be supporting the same major power for years at a time. So,
Agreed.
like, just to get into specifics, we'll talk about Eclipse, or Carthago, or the whole Nexus block, or ASM, or, you know, I could keep going down the list, but basically any large alliance sticking next to a major power, basically sitting in their shadow. I would definitely like to see a lot of these alliances kind of step up and do their own thing.
Don't you dare call out Guardian.
Guardian is definitely one of the ones I would list, yes. But I don't know, just my thought. I really like that Church of the Light, or whatever there were, and Error 404 merged and tried to do something different.
Children of the Light, yeah.
I think they were stuck in Hedge for a long time in Grumpy's shadow, and I like that they stepped out and did their own thing. Whether or not they'll do anything with it remains to be seen, but they did move, so props, I guess.
I don't think they sat in Grumpy's shadow necessarily. I liked Hedge a lot, but I agree. I think that was a good move for them, and I hope they do well. They really do have the I think they have the ability to be a huge leader. The tricky part about that whole thing is you have to get people in leadership that care and are willing to spend way too much time on this dumb game. Sometimes that's easy, and some alliances, I think, just struggle to find people that want to just take over and do things in a competent way. Let's see. Borg says Children of the Light did a lot of the FA for Hedge. Yeah, that's part of why I was saying Children of the Light and Error 404, I think, were very good pairs to Grumpy and Guardian, because Children of the Light did a lot of the FA legwork. Error 404, of course, they had bots, but they were also kind of the new players that were, you know, good complements to the really well-established old people that Guardian and Grumpy are.
Borg leaving Error 404 killed that alliance, changed my view. Exactly. Silence.
I'm not willing to say anything.
I mean, I don't know if it did or not. I was never super close to them either way.
I know some things that indicate that Borg leaving was definitely harmful. They did good work without Borg, but there was definitely something lacking that Chosen of the Light is making up for, I think. So I was going to ask you another part in this interview. We talked about the content. Another thing I wanted to ask you about was advertising, because I noticed that you advertised on Reddit, and I think you were trying to get new players in. If I'm not misunderstanding, is that right? Are you trying to do that?
I was actually mildly successful in the sense that I think like 5 or 6 people joined from those posts, and honestly, like I think 5 out of 6 of them are still active and doing something. One of them immediately was like, "Yeah, PNW shit, I'm not playing this." But honestly, the fact that I got 5 semi-active members off of that, really, I didn't think I was gonna get anything. So I don't know. I kind of was hoping for a little bit more because it seemed like at first they were all joining very quickly. Because I think quite a few joined the Discord server, but then quite a few left before engaging. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, but yeah, I'm trying to go off-site, recruit some new players to the game. So we'll see how that goes.
Am I right in thinking that Cam is doing something similar? I don't know. We have 62 people listening, so anyone can fill in the gaps for me. Is that a normal thing to do, to go off-site to advertise?
I'd say no.
I would say no from the alliances I've been in, although I am kind of a case.
I mean, yes, people have tried to do that before.
Well, MPO brought people outside the game, but I think the execution of it wasn't exactly the best or the greatest for the rest of us.
Yeah. I don't know if I would count them. They were more like bribed into the game, I guess. But I don't know. I don't really count them because they specifically did not engage with anyone else and were only here for the whatever it's called, comics. So I don't know if I'd count them. But like Goons is a good example of an alliance that had a lot of success recruiting from off-site forums or from other games that had nothing to do with Nation Sims. Even though Goons fucking sucks. I've talked to a couple people that have pulled people from nation states, which is I think a good that's like the top Google hit if you're looking up a game to like a free country simulator. So I think that's a good place to pull from. And a lot of people make their way over here from there eventually either way.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of overlap from, importing people from nation states, from cyber nations, from back in the day, people would cross over from other related. What do you even call this genre? I don't even know.
Browser-based nation sims.
Yeah, that's
free to play.
I have a question though. Did you see my Reddit post, or did somebody tell you that I posted on Reddit?
Oh, I want to say I don't think I saw it. I think I saw something about seeing your Reddit post, I think in your channel.
It's not a
something like that.
It's not like exactly on niche subreddits, but they're not like popular posts on any popular subreddit.
Yeah.
So I was just curious.
No,
I was
I
like,
didn't.
Are you on the same niche subreddits that I am.
I didn't find it in the wild. I'll tell you that much. I don't browse ancient Roman history nonsense. I don't know. I'm
I
assuming
love
that's
it.
where it was.
It was, but
I assumed as much.
I mean, I don't know. I've been looking around for different sources, just trying to get creative. Honestly, my biggest success has been as much as the offsite recruiting went for, the running a recruitment script worked just as well. Like, I think I got like 3 or 4 members from Reddit, 3 or 4 members from a recruitment script. So,
yeah,
I assume the recruitment script will eventually continue to work.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't think I have anything else. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about before I say so long for the night?
Roberts, what was TKR like? Give us the internal look. Give us the tea. Give us the scoop.
Who's asking? Thalmor?
It's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say TKR
What color
is what was your question? I'm sorry.
What color is Benfro's underwear?
That is highly OPSEC information.
Fuck.
But TKR internally is about as active as you would expect a almost multi-hundred member alliance to be. It's full of nice people. Gov is competent and active. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about it if that's what you're asking. I had a fun experience with TKR. I probably would have stayed there had I not wanted to just go buck wild and try something new. So, there's not really tea for TKR. They're just nice people, honestly.
Good? Good. Is that everything everyone wanted to talk about? Going once? Going twice?
Wait, I can think of something. I got some politics to discuss.
Oh, great.
What about... Nah, I can't think of anything. When is Nexus
Zig,
going to
how
split
was
from
your day
Blackwater,
today?
Krampus? When is Wana going to do anything as the FA Gov of Syndicate? Krampus immediately remuted himself, laughing. Okay. All right.
I was going to answer the first question, but then again, the answer is never.
When is Nexus going to split off into its own
Yes,
block?
never.
Never? Why?
I think we are content in where we are. Of course, I don't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying.
That's
Feels.
good. Being content just means stagnation.
When are you going to force House Stark to merge into you? When I was in Carthago, they were already dead. I can only assume they're more dead now. Annex them and achieve your destiny.
Three, two, one. Okay, and with that, I think it's time to end the show. Before we go, we'll take a look at the final readings for the KT poll, and it looks like the winner is Mystery. So Thalmor, and if Horsecock is listening, please declare war on Mystery in about an hour. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, Thalmor, and Vice, even though you're not here, for helping me host. Thanks, Justinian, for being a good guest. And for the other 3, for chiming in when I forced you to. Tune in again next time at some point in the near future. if you are interested in having another show and you have a topic you really are interested in, please just go ahead and DM me what kind of topics you want to listen to, what you want to talk about. I am open to doing another one probably at the same time, as long as that works for people. We got 60 people to show up, so I think this is a good time. And with that, I'd like to thank you for listening and see if I can figure out how to play the theme.
This isn't the theme!